Good evening, everyone. My name is Bernard Cannon. I'm the editor and photographer of the website known as the Photo Pit. We are here doing, once again, another interview with our Blue Ridge Rock Festival artists from the Rising Talent Group. Today, we have yet again another Rising Talent band, and one that I've listened to their music and I'm already sold. I think you guys will be too. I want to introduce everyone to the band known as SevenStones. How are you guys doing today?
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. So as we discussed, I'd like everyone to introduce yourselves, and then we'll go ahead and talk about your roles in the band, and then we'll get rolling here.
Cool. Abraham, I played lead guitar.
I'm Drew Elliott. I'm lead singer and rhythm guitar.
Jacob Kleins, I play drums.
Rich, I play bass.
All right. And Rich is not a floating head, I promise. We just have a lot of, I just have a lot of over there. So I'll make sure we get everyone and can hear everyone just fine. All right. So let's start with the basics. Where are you guys hailed from for your band? Where are you guys right now?
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Tennessee. Okay, very cool. I think you're the first band I've talked to from that area. I love that state, by the way. It's beautiful over there.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been together as a band?
Since 2016.
Oh, so you're fairly, I don't want to say fairly new. What's between 16? Oh, wait, this is 5 years already? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You're not so new.
We didn't play shows for the first 2 years.
Okay.
So like we kind of worked our way through some stuff, and then Jacob's been
With
been
us
over a
since
year.
2019.
It's been almost 2 years.
It's been almost 2 years.
Yeah,
that
in
we
October
picked up
it'll be
with.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we, let me ask this, because when we've encountered groups of bands who have done interviews with us so far, are we a complete group here tonight, or are we missing members?
Yes. This is a complete group.
Complete group. Okay, so you're a foursome. Perfect. All right. Good to know. Tell me a little bit about the history of how you guys got together. What started, the origin of SevenStones and got you to where you are today.
Well, it started with both Drew and I back in late 2015, early 2016. We were just talking. He'd just come back home from college. I was working at Gold's Gym, and we were talking about music, catching up. It had been nearly like 10 years that we've seen each other, and we were always close friends in school. And he was just showing me ideas of different songs that he'd been writing, and I didn't know that he had been writing music, because when I met him, he was just into sports. And he showed me what are now two of our songs from our debut album, one of them being Dying Kind and the other being All in Due Time. And it was just cool how I became a believer of the music that he was writing. And it was just right there, kind of like the starting point to what is SevenStones. And later 2016, I'd say by October is when we fully formed. And by November, Rich joined us, never playing bass, and we had a different drummer at the time. And we all grew up and went to school, but it just kind of naturally came together from the music that he was writing, and then we just started creating music together. That was really influenced by what you started.
Yeah, but everything was written on acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
So that's what I do most of my writing on. And I didn't, I don't know, my goal was not exactly to be in a band. I was just writing music because it's like, hell, why not try it? My mom says I sound great, but I've seen American Idol, and I don't know if I could fully trust her. I love you, Mom. Sorry, but Abraham took to it, and we just started playing, and here we are.
Yeah, I hadn't touched the guitar in like 6 years, and so hearing his music,
it was kind of forced.
Yeah. So hearing it, I was like, okay, I like this, man. I'll start playing guitar again, and I just dedicated since that day.
Okay. So all four of you have known each other for a long time prior to being together, or just the three of you?
Not me. I've only known him right at 2 years. We have a mutual friend that I used to jam with, and they introduced me to them whenever they needed a drummer. And I tried out, and we just had really good chemistry from the get-go, and they've been like family to me since.
And and thankfully that he joined on, and we flowed so well, because if not, he would probably be in our buddy's band to this day right now. And I'm really glad we stole him away before. And I'm really sorry at the same time.
Hey, I love you, dude.
Drew, story. There's a good one. I'm so glad we stole him from another band.
Hey, he's the one to introduce us. It's not my fault.
And
Rich, 2 years ago.
I was gonna say, Rich, have you been, friends with them for a while? Or is
Oh
it just-
yeah. Actually, the original drummer, one of the founding members of the band, that's who I was best friends and had grown up with, and I kind of got introduced to these two right here through that guy. And then, like Abe had mentioned earlier, I didn't even play bass whenever this band started. I've never played a stringed instrument before in my life, but I knew rhythm and I knew timing, and I was kind of like I wouldn't say a mediocre drum player, but I could do a little something. Just as long as the timing was there. And actually, there was one practice where the old drummer and these two were they were trying to hammer out like a lick on a certain chord, like a chorus progression, and I had chimed in. I said, "Well, why don't you try this instead of this?" And then it was like, I guess their gears started turning, and they're like, "Well, we kind of need a bass player. You know how to keep rhythm." So I was like, I guess I'll give it a shot. And, here I am 5 years later, and it's actually one of the best, screw it moments I've ever had. Just go with it, and it's totally just been 100% positivity, and just even the most seasoned artist that has decades and decades of experience, whether what instrument or what role they play in music as a whole, you still learn every day. And that's what I'm very grateful for, that I have a good core group of guys that can not only help me, but I can help them as well. And it's just the way we mesh and the way everything just flows together, and the end product is something we're always happy with and happy to deliver to everybody.
I'm just glad that you weren't that mad about that junky ass bass that I had randomly.
Actually, I was like, "Man, could you actually help me?" "Yeah, come over to Abe's house and I'll show you the lick to dying kind." And then it was like so we do this, and then you do this, and I'm like, "Okay." And I was like, "All right, what else?"
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
We don't know.
I've never played bass before. All right, thanks guys, appreciate it.
I know the string, man.
That's great. That's great. Tell me a little bit about, I guess, musically right now. You guys are an independent artist. Are you with a label?
No,
We're
we're
independent.
Yeah, we're independent.
You're independent. Okay. How many albums have you released so far?
We've got one album and 2 singles that we've released, and we're getting ready to record our next single for this later part of the year.
Okay. All right. So one thing, when I was listening to your music right before we got on the call here, I mean, to me, it sounds like you're either straight up, what do you say? You know how genres are, right? Like they're all over the place, left and right. Like I listen to you and I hear, either on the edge of metal or solid rock for sure. How do you define yourselves as a band when it comes to your music?
That you actually,
Hard rock.
you definitely described that perfectly.
Hard rock.
'cause we could go back and forth.
Yeah. There's definitely like some hard rock, or
Southern rock.
even on some tracks like some southern rock, but then there's just some where it's just like metal and new metal, heavy metal straight to your face,
and even some poppy feels.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just whatever we're getting.
Damn Romeo. I write one.
I'll say like our new music that we're working on is heavier. It's heavier than anything prior that you've heard, that your ears have heard. So that I know I'm excited as well as the guys for the next music that we're putting out, because it's very in your face. It's heavier.
Okay. I mean, is there a reason why you particularly want to, I guess I don't want to see change, because it's really not, how music is, it's very subjective to where you want to label it. But is there a reason why you wanted to go a little heavier than what you currently have released before?
It's just what we feel.
And,
experimenting, really.
And that's what I'm used to playing, and which
yeah, he used to play a lot harder.
Yeah, and so whenever we write music, usually it's more, it flows better when we go a little.
He drives it to be a little bit heavier.
I don't know how you guys feel, but for me, it's the energy.
Yeah.
It's like, because whenever I'm playing the heavier stuff on stage, I'm everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm everywhere, and then seeing like just a crowd reaction and like that bounce or that jump or the head banging to to the drops or whatever, to like the heavier side of the music that we play. That's something that I feed off of, and it just keeps me just motivated to keep writing stuff like that.
People love it too. Like when they hear the heavy, they're like, where's this been? Like,
Yeah.
why are you guys like not putting more of this out? It's like, well, we have been working on some stuff like quietly. It's just, it takes time when you're writing music. You don't want to rush your product out if it's not refined. So
If we're playing
Yeah.
like anything from like a 2-hour set, you kind of see the evolution of like where it like started and like where we're I
heading.
wouldn't say wanting to go, but like where we're at this moment.
Okay.
Because I mean, I like being able to do both, just to I guess screw with people at the same time, and
That's
then like
fun.
in the middle of the set, like pick up an acoustic guitar, and just kind of like everybody's like, well, okay, what's this? And then like we might take a break for a second, and then we come back in with the newer stuff that's right in your face the whole time.
All right.
So I
Good.
enjoy. I think we
Okay.
all.
Yeah.
Any of it's fun. We just like fucking playing.
Yeah. So,
I haven't dropped one yet.
what's the name of the current album that you've released?
It's called A Hope for Tomorrow. That's
Okay.
we released in 2019.
Oh, all right. So that's fairly recent. That's time for new singles, right? Right around then.
We did have a really rough EP before then, but
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that, right? All right.
Well,
So we're just going to.
It formed us to where we are now.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can't find that on social or any platforms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Revoked.
It's been deleted from the internet. It's been
Oh, yeah.
removed. Right. Tell me about your favorite singles that you like to play.
For
And I want to
me,
hear
as,
from each of you. What are your favorites?
for me as a guitar player, I love playing "Save Today" because I feel that song captures who we are right now, and it's so 2020 being a weird year that it was for the entire world, and giving artists nothing but the time to write and to really kind of hone in on their skills. Save Today for me as a guitar player because it's got that very like in your face. It's heavy. The drums are blasting off. The bass is going. The vocals are soaring with the music. So it's just for me. I love that song.
He's lying. The only reason why he likes it is because I don't play guitar on it. That's the only reason why he likes it. He gets the shine, man.
It's such a fun song, man. Especially live because like you hear it as a single itself, but you hear it in person. It's like, oh man, it's heavy.
Okay. Drew, what about you?
Mine's Take Me Home. I guess because it starts off a little soft, and I'd like to be able to play and sing at the same time because I don't know. That's how I started writing, was playing and singing at the same time. And the chorus is a little bit heavier, and you can feel it like groove. We get in the pocket. It's just like it's something I have a lot of fun with, and I like the lick in it.
Okay, Jacob, what about you?
Mine's Saved Today. It's heavier. It's a lot of fun for me to play, so that's the main reason I like it. But I like both of them. Take Me Home's a really fun one to play too for me.
Okay. And Rich?
So I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna name two, just
Okay.
because there's two different ways that I feel whenever I'm performing live. First would obviously be Save Today, is like what these two guys said, just because of,
Knew it.
I mean, just because of just I just love the energy that I can bring out, and just the animations that I do on stage, whether the throat cut or
Stage
just the hair just banging and jumping up and down and moving and windmilling, all that. But from like a feeling standpoint, and like from a deep, like something inside of me coming out, there's a song that's on our album, I Hope for Tomorrow, and it's called
Soulless.
Into the Dark.
Yes, Into the Dark.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Into the
yeah.
Dark. Just it's a very ballady, just emotion driven song that just starts off really slow, acoustic guitar, very very somber vocally wise, and it's conveying a certain personal meaning, and then you just hear this swell just come in, and all of a sudden just the whole band just comes in out of nowhere and just starts chugging along with what the original song's going, and it just the meaning behind that song and the meaning that the lyrics portray has a close personal relationship with me, and throughout things in my past and things with whether it's with family and friends and stuff, and it's actually probably my favorite song on that album is Into the Dark.
Okay. Thanks for sharing those. I will be when I was going through your YouTube channel. What's funny enough is the two that grabbed me right away was Save Today, and the other one was Take Me Home. It's like the two that you guys names.
I'll say this. I'll meet Drew in the middle. I love the guitar solo and Take Me Home. I'll just say that.
Oh my God. Of course it is.
I love that song.
I love my solo.
Yeah.
But
too
my
much
second
echo.
would be also Into the Dark. Because in writing that, it was very personal, and it was.
But you said Solus, and I have a certain connection with Solus with you. That's one of my favorite things.
It's so weird to ask us the which is our favorites, because like there's so many, but you know there's
it comes down to like favorite moments that you had playing the certain song.
Yeah,
Hellbent's one of mine because that's the first song I played with y'all.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so he didn't have a kit to practice on when he auditioned.
Well, I had a kid, but I
He
didn't have a place to
didn't
set it
have
up.
time to like play it or set it up, and he listened to our freaking album for 2 weeks. Walks in, sets it up, and like the first two notes, like I got cold chills, and I was like, we don't have to go through this anymore. Like he already has the timing down. We played the whole song.
Wow.
I was like, all right, cool.
He already knew our music the moment he sat his kit down. We hit the opening notes to Hellbent, and then we ended up playing Solus right after. We're like, you got the job, man. No, we got that part of the game.
We had auditioned I think like a couple other ones, and it wasn't that it wasn't there wasn't talent or it was anything, but it was just, I guess it was their playing style and everything. It wasn't something that we were used to, and it's something that we felt like we weren't meshing with professionally and personally.
Everybody was talented.
Everybody was talented, like to the gills. But there was something about this guy right here. He come in.
Also very talented.
Yeah, also very talented, kind of, just a little bit. He come in and just how he was playing, and with me being the bass player and rhythm section, I have to have somebody that I can confide in and that I can roll along with. And with the other ones, I wasn't really feeling it. Like I was having to try to keep up with them, or they were trying to keep up with me. But with this guy, it was like he had been in the band the whole entire time, and it was I was very grateful to have somebody like him. Like
which is interesting for me, like watching you guys. Like there's definitely a camaraderie between the four of you. That I mean, obviously, between Drew and Abraham knowing each other like for a while, but just as a whole, like just kind of like as I'm observing, like you guys seem pretty tight. I mean, am I wrong here, or?
We just enjoy hanging out together, even if we're not playing music or whatever.
Yeah.
Which usually if we're hanging out, we're playing music.
But we can just hang out.
Yeah.
But we can just hang out and chill. Me and this guy, if we ever tour or anything, then I mean we're gonna be
basically all best of friends.
Yeah.
man.
we're gonna
Like,
be out every night.
We're gonna have me and him are gonna create issues. I'm pretty sure. September is gonna be bad.
I'll say this: the brotherhood that we have within this group, it's very rare that you see that in a lot of bands, because a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, well we play and so lives in such place, and we just come and rehearse and that's it, and they have a cool tight union on stage, but off stage they're two different lives. But like us four, even though we have our own separate lives, we all keep in constant communication, and we're always like just tight knit anywhere we go or whatever, to shows, to support bands, friends that we know that are playing. We're always together.
So yeah, I actually live like an hour and a half away from these guys. So
Yeah, it was in Alabama.
Yeah.
He drives up here 2 times a week.
Really?
Yeah.
he drives an hour and a half one way twice a week.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
3 hours driving 2 times a week.
right
So
after work.
That's dedication. That's dedication right there. I mean, but Abraham, you make that good point, because I kind of agree with you, and it's not with all bands for sure. With the number of bands I've interviewed, and Matt, I can see, when there's that tight knit feel. I mean, just for me watching you, just for the four of you, the way you talk and interact, it's different. It's very different. I think you have a right. It's like a brotherhood. The way that I see it.
Yeah, we're
It's
good.
good to see.
We'll turn around like we're brothers too.
Yeah.
When it's needed,
Yeah.
or when it's not.
Yeah, that's all right. That's what family does that, right?
Exactly.
That's the way it goes. Jacob, I was going to ask you, is before we kind of straight off in the conversation, when you spent 2 weeks listening to the music, was it difficult for you to kind of just listen to that, to pick it up so fast? I mean, I'm assuming no, but how do you just do that? How does that work for you?
I grew up. I actually didn't have. Whenever I learned to play drums, I never had a drum set. I went to church and I watched my drummer. I just watched the drummer at my church play, and I didn't know what a tone was called or anything. I just watched what he did and was like, okay, that makes this noise. This makes this noise, and I just kind of put it together and played on air drums in my room watching Fuse TV back in the day whenever it was good. and
That's impressive. Very
Yeah,
impressive.
just went from there and then taught myself. And then whenever I graduated high school, I joined the military. And whenever I got back, I bought my first drum set after I got my enlistment bonus.
Okay,
And
so once again, I've had another theme here. I'll tell you about my other theme a little bit later because I'll ask. But hang on, I want to hold that for a second. So you were in the military. What about what branch were you in?
I was Air Force.
Your Air Force. Okay. What about the rest of you? Military or no?
No, military
His
family.
dad
A lot
was
of
Marine,
family,
Yeah.
family hardcore, but
Marine, yeah.
I didn't make the cut. I chose this path.
That's
what
okay.
I'm hoping
No-
for.
There's nothing wrong with that. And Jacob, thank you for your service because I appreciate that. And I always like to call that out for our veterans. So thank you. So tell me, as this is kind of interesting, where's your influence when it comes to your music and your writing? Do you have bands that you kind of pulled from? Was it just a sound that you decided, this just sounded and felt right for SevenStones?
I've started to realize, like a heavy influence for me, has been like Seether is one that sticks out in my head.
Okay.
And a band that everybody else hates also is Creed. For some, I mean, I love Creed. Sorry, I'll go ahead and admit it. Mark Tremonti is too damn good, and I still think Alter Bridge I like Alter Bridge a lot more. But so I have a little bit of that, a little bit of style. Then I would like to say like Alice in Chains because they were lane was something else for me, and Jerry Cantrell.
Okay.
I'll lean on those, and then I guess heavier inspiration would be like Lamb of God, but like
Yeah.
I don't have those chops for like Randy or.
But I will say your chops are good. I've listened to, from what I've heard, you've got some great vocals there.
Well, thank you, sir. A lot.
All right. I want to talk a little bit about one specific single. Tell me more about "Take Me Home," since you guys mentioned it. And you raised it as a favorite song. What is it about that? What's the connection? Where was the inspiration on it?
I make a lot of dumb decisions.
We all have. It's all good.
I have definitely I've cleaned myself up from making those dumb decisions. I guess I was making an ass of myself out with some friends, and I just caused a little bit of a scene, and we ended up closing the bar down, and I felt so bad, and they were driving me home, and I was sitting in the back there apologizing, tears in my eyes, being a big old baby, just take me home. Yeah. And so I woke up the next morning, and I remember I texted my friend, Sam Stedman was actually the one that was driving me. Sorry, he's also another artist from around here. He's awesome. And we talked for a minute. He's like, dude, it's all good. I was like, okay. So I guess I started replaying everything in my head, what was said, and I crave forgiveness, because I felt horrible for being that much of a moron. And I don't know how that came about, but I wrote the first verse, and then the whole "Take Me Home" just kind of spit out of my mouth whenever I was writing. So
Yeah,
sorry to have it there.
No, and sometimes those personal experiences helps a lot of artists to drive. Sometimes some of the best songs. So that's all good. All right. So and I will tell you, I love Creed too, so I'm okay.
Yeah, Creed. Awesome.
Yeah, Creed rocks. All right. So you mentioned September is going to be crazy. Why is that? What guys do you have planned? I mean, obviously we have the Blue Ridge Rock Festival that's coming. But so what is it about September that's going to be trouble for you guys, as you said?
It's a busy musical month, not just because of we have a festival we're playing at the week before Blue Ridge called Valley Vibes Music Festival. And we're on one of the main cards for that Saturday. Then the next week we have Blue Ridge come Friday, and the amount of you've seen it yourself, the amount of bands and all the legendary performers that are performing, it's just mind blowing. I think that's probably the biggest U.S. rock festival in to date, if I'm correct. Like
it might be, and I'd have to probably dig some research, and some of my any of my friends who are in the media who are watching this, if you're watching, I hope you are. Someone confirm that for me or not, but I think it is. It's with the amount of bands that's there. It's
pretty damn
massive.
close if it is
It's
not.
one of the biggest, and it's such a busy music month. You know, September, all the festivals that are going on. So we've got that lined up, and around that time, I believe we're gonna gear up to release our next single and push it for Blue Ridge.
Okay. And then do you have any tours coming up after that, after Blue Ridge?
Right now, we're working on something with one of our friends who's a promoter. We don't have the exact date set yet, but
Sure.
I think it's for November.
Okay.
So
All right.
we're working something out.
Sounds like a good plan.
We're trying to do more of those because we all work full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So it's if families involved, and I mean everybody working 40 to 50 hours a week, and still trying to keep this dream alive.
Yeah.
So we're hopefully getting to that point to where we can do more tours, you know, and then instead of going from like 5 days in a row to like, I don't know, like 35. And keep
Right.
building.
Is the goal to do this full time?
Oh,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I would hope so, man. You drive a lot of freaking miles for you to just go
Yeah.
here. It's just a hobby, you know.
Well, you know, I mean, I found it was interesting. I talked to other bands who, you know, when I asked that question, somebody literally said, "Not right now." I was like, "Wow!" Like I was kind of shocked by that. But that's, and you know, and I think that's okay. You know, it's like the band knows where their goals are and what they want to do. If that's not, and that's not the full time drive for them, that's perfectly fine. You know, as an artist, you have to decide, you know, what's important for you and where you want to go. So
Yeah, don't force something, man. That's
right.
that doesn't end up well.
Yeah, no, never. It never does. So let's talk a little bit about you guys outside of music, because there are, as I'm looking at a particular band I spoke to earlier about, you know, jokingly, they said there's stuff outside of band. Yes, there is always stuff outside of band. So what do you guys like to do for fun? Rich, I'll let you start.
Honestly, sitting in my recliner is obviously a plus with TV or movie going. I actually have started getting into like building computers.
Oh, cool.
I just just learning a little bit here and there, doing a little practice build myself right now, and learning how to upgrade my computer that I have right now, and it's fun to kind of do that. But one of my favorite things to do is, you know, it's music, but I like just, you know, throwing up, you know, tabs up on the computer, or, you know, hearing a song, and I've got my practice rig right behind me, and I like sitting in my computer chair and just leaning back, turning all the mood lights down, and playing a nice little bass line to something, you know, bluesy, you know, for hours. And I've done that a lot here recently, and it makes me feel like very relaxed, and it gets me into the mood. And it's actually one of the best things I can do to actually get a good night's sleep, just to get into that mode and just kind of wind down and just hear some nice blues stock tracks, and just play along with them.
All right, that's cool. Jacob, what about you?
I like riding motorcycles, working on motorcycles. I'm a mechanic for my full-time job, and I've got a 2-year-old daughter. She's my best friend. So most of the time I go to work, go home, and usually I'm just sitting watching Cocomelon or something with her. Living the dream. That's about it. And then I come out to practice with them twice a week. And the rest of the time I'm pretty much full-time dad.
Okay, that sounds cool. All right, Drew, what about you?
I can't even follow that because it's like, I wouldn't say lazy per se, my hobbies, but I mean, of course, I'll play acoustic in my spare time, and because we work anywhere 50 hours a week doing carpentry, so I want to be inside. It is hot down here. I don't know if anybody doesn't know that, but it's freaking hot down here. So I mean, I like to hang out with my lady, and she's got a dog and 2 cats. I like hanging with them. We watch, and this is gonna sound kind of lame, but cooking shows and like murder documentaries, and playing Super Nintendo.
There's nothing lame about that. And you nailed something that I'll get to in 1 second. But Abraham, tell me about you. What's your pastimes when you're not doing music stuff?
Man, I like getting out and about, being social. Like when I want to be social, like hang out with friends, go out drinking, and not like as I. That sounds bad. It sounds alcoholic.
Exactly why I didn't say
I like
it.
going out and socializing, getting out of the house because I work in the medical field, so like I'm constantly high stress in the environment that I work in.
Wow.
And so, like, I like being able to just get out, go to shows, or basically stay at home and stay away from the world. Play music for fun, of course, because it's got to be a hobby. Work out, and I also love playing video games. I'm a huge
Okay.
video
So let me ask quickly on this. What do you do medically for work? If you're allowed to say.
God. Okay. So I work in within surgery. I work with surgical instruments. So I sterilize, I assemble, and I decontaminate, and I get everything prepped and packed for surgery. We're the heartbeat of the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, especially, kudos to you because no joke with everything that happened with COVID.
Yeah.
I know a lot of friends who are in medical who decided to opt out.
I'll tell you this.
It got too much.
Last year made me very grateful because most people, like even musicians and stuff, that didn't have their job, their career anymore, I still had mine within the field, and that made me very grateful because it made me realize your dreams can end at any moment.
Yep.
And it's important to have something to fall back on. So like it's not easy, but
No, definitely not.
I'm very grateful and blessed to have what I have.
Yeah, kudos to you because that does not sound like an easy job, and that sounds like very high stress. So,
video games is my therapy.
right, yeah, and it is. It's my therapy too, and I don't even play anything. Trust me, I get it. I absolutely get it. So, I wanted to talk about that trend. So, it's all these artists that I've been interviewing. There's two things that have always come out of these interviews. One, someone is usually an artist in some way, like outside of music, meaning like they draw, they sculpt, whatever. The other one are video game players. So I figured somewhere someone was. So Abraham, you said you do. I'm sure you do.
I'm almost pretty sure that was the first time I ever talked to Rich was on an Xbox party. So before I met him in person, it was like us playing
awesome.
Call of Duty and cussing at one another.
Yep.
So I mean, so let me ask quick: are all of you video game players?
I'm not really.
You're not? Okay. So, but the rest of you?
I've got an Xbox.
were
I just
so
hardly
pumped.
have time to play. Like, that's my big thing.
Mainly us three are PC and Xbox.
I was about to say, I work 50, 60 hours a week.
He's got a baby.
Home.
I get it.
To even sit down and turn it on. And if I do, I've got 5 minutes where I got to get up and do something else.
Right.
I gotta throw as a side note, our manager Scotty, which is Rich's brother, he's also a video gamer. He's as much of a part of us, not being a official SevenStones member, but he's officially a part of us, and he's another gamer. So we're always gaming together.
And he's also sitting right behind the camera, and that's what we keep looking at and laughing. So we're not going crazy, I promise.
All right, no, you're good. You're good. So quickly, Abraham, tell me your favorite games.
Video games?
Yes.
Man, I like Apex Legends is fun. I like Rocket League.
Oh,
Lately, I've been really
my heart.
I've been hardcore into Sea of Thieves lately, because that game is a lot of fun just playing with pirates. But the Arkham series, the Batman Arkham series.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
That and
You asked the wrong question to him, man.
Marvel, the Avengers game, the new Avengers game. That game's awesome.
Okay. And all right, Drew, what about you?
It's mainly Rocket League or MLB The Show right now.
Okay.
I'm the odd one that likes baseball out of you do like baseball, but I like playing the games because
I haven't been able to play the games since like the 90s because it's never.
Oh, I know,
because
it's on
But
PlayStation.
now I can.
Exactly. That's the only reason why I'm playing it. I was still playing MLB 2K10 on my Xbox 360 for since 2010. I stopped playing it like the week before MLB The Show came out. That's how much I like baseball, but couldn't play it. And I guess Assassin's Creed Valhalla too.
Yes.
Yeah, Valhalla.
Those are my three: is Rocket League and MLB The Show.
All right, Rich, what about you?
Let's see. There's this one game that I've been on for about a year now. It's called Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. It's a
I know that.
Yeah, it's a Vietnam realistic shooter. It's a pretty good. They call it a PTSD simulator, which is pretty just pretty heavy, but overall I would say stick to shooters. I would say the the Doom series from the '90s up until now. Doom series. Let's see the Halo. I mean, Halo is the stepping stone to what everything is today. Halo for sure. But overall, the whole entire Battlefield series. That's the one that I will love until my dying breath.
This is why we don't play. We
Battlefield
don't
series.
actually play video games together at all anymore because we're all doing different things.
Yeah, I understand. I get you with that. All right, so let's have here wrap up our discussion. So, what last words you have? Well, let me stop there first. What day are you guys playing at the Blue Ridge Rock Festival?
We're playing Friday.
Friday, because that's Friday the 10th.
Yeah,
Friday the 10th.
Yep. All right, that sounds good. And then, what last words do each of you have for our viewers, watchers, and listeners today? I'll go ahead and start with you, Abraham.
Come check us out. If you're at Blue Ridge, come check out our set. We're going to be playing, I believe, around 1:30 in the evening. Also, look us up on YouTube. Look us up on Apple Music, Spotify. Check out our music. Download it. Add it to your Spotify playlist. Blast the hell out of it, and look forward to our next single that's coming out called Break.
All right, Drew.
First of all, thank you for watching this to this point that we're getting to this, and thank you, sir, for having us on to do this because this is awesome. We're really excited for September and to be playing on the 10th. And holy crap, there are a lot of amazing bands that are on here that we're really excited to see. That's why it's going to be crazy, especially for me and him. But yeah, follow us on our social media accounts, either personal, band, all of it. Listen, download, share, please, for the love of God. And thank you again, man. You've been awesome.
No, my pleasure. All right, Jacob, what about you?
Like he said, thank you, everybody watching, you for having us on here. If y'all want to come check us out while we're playing, if y'all catch us out, we'll be hanging out the whole weekend anyway, because we're just gonna we're gonna pretty much use it like a vacation and just have a blast.
And we got merch too.
If y'all want to see us, fucking just come hang out, talk to us, whatever. We'll be there and we'll be glad to hang out.
We can drink a beer or apple juice. Whatever.
All right, and Rich?
Check out the socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, MySpace, Zanga. No, but YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like, share, view, blast the hell out of it. It may seem minuscule, liking, sharing, viewing, doing your part, but in the long run, it goes a long way, and it helps out independent artists and helps us gain our following more than just the listener that's listening to it.
And it makes us feel really good on the inside.
It really does, especially when that number goes from like 1 stream to 2 stream. We're like, 2 people like us.
Thanks, Ma.
But with what these guys said, the day that we play, before and after our set, you catch us out. Come hang out with us. It's definitely going to be a fun time for sure, and I can't wait. And thank you for setting this up and having us come aboard. And to everybody that's watching this, stay safe and keep rocking out, man. Hope to see everybody out there.
Yeah.
And if you see Abraham that weekend, smack him in the back of the head.
All right, so just as a quick reminder for everyone, so SevenStones is going to be performing at the Blue Ridge Rock Festival. That festival runs from September the 9th on Thursday to September the 12th on Sunday. They'll be playing on Friday, September the 10th, and as been saying with all of our rising talent bands that we've been interviewing, please, if you can, if you do see them and you like what you see, go to their merch, buy some merch from them. That's how these groups continue on doing what they do. Buy an album, buy a single, buy a t-shirt, buy a sticker, buy whatever. Anything you can contribute will always help. And of course, if they're going to be around the 4 days, if you see them walking around, go say hi. Ask them for selfies. I heard they like that too.
Love it.
Yeah. So
This guy right here.
I'll take
Abraham. See Abraham, ask him. He'll do it.
Post-COVID, I'm charging $250 for an autograph and selfie. No, it's cool. I love taking pictures with people. It's nice.
All right. So, but guys, thank you very much for taking the time with me tonight. I greatly appreciate it. Just for a reminder for everyone, this band is SevenStones, and hopefully we'll see you guys over at Blue Ridge in September.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for your time.